Many adults these days have a wide social net yet feel lonely and disconnected.
Jewel Hohman says there's a mixture of misunderstanding about how friendship works and a lack of friendship skills. And of course, to explain it all, she joins us now. Good morning.
Hey.
Hi, good morning. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining us here. So let's dive right in. What does friendship education, what is friendship education and why does it matter right now?
Friendship education matters right now because we haven't set up our modern world for connection, and it's gotten us to a loneliness epidemic. Connection is one of our basic human needs, and now there's evidence that points to younger generations being some of the loneliest generations. And in our digital post-COVID world, we all need to understand friendship and how it works because friendship is just so life-giving.
Yeah, I mean, you've spent years studying and teaching about friendship. So what kind of unique qualities do you bring in enabling people to help make that connection and bridge that gap?
Yeah, so I proudly have about 4,000 hours of coaching people from all over the world on how to build meaningful friendships into their lives. So I have studied friendship, I have taught programs about friendship, designed programs for friendship. I have worked with multiple nonprofits dedicated to combating loneliness. But the most important thing is that I've been in real conversations with people, helping them apply the science of friendship to their unique lives and their unique situations.
Yeah. What would you say the biggest struggle is that you see people having with friendships right now?
The biggest struggle I see is that people aren't lonely because they don't know enough people. They may even talk to people all day at work.
Yeah.
Right? They know people, they have social lives, but they don't have the meaningful, deep bonds that they are craving. And especially once adult life feels so busy, creating meaningful friendships can feel next to impossible. But I wanted to come on here and I wanted people to know that meaningful friendships does not have to become another big task on your to-do list. When you understand how closeness is actually built, friendship can fit into your life in realistic ways and help you feel less stressed, more supported, and have a lot more fun.
Yeah, clearly, friendship is obviously that needs to be worked on. Mm-hmm. Some people may not understand the gravity of wanting to and needing to build those relationships. Mm-hmm. So for people watching who may not understand, is there something that people should know or people should understand about friendships that they haven't learned or understood so far?
Yeah, that they haven't learned. I would say that most cliche friendship advice points to how to make new friends. But we don't always need to start over with new people. Many of us already have great people in our lives already. It's just that no one ever taught us how closeness is actually built. And I mean, especially once adult life gets busy, right?
Yeah.
So my workshops focus on that gap. I teach people how to create more meaningful bonds in a way that actually works for them in their busy lives.
Yeah. Well, if someone right now is watching and they're really resonating with your message, what would be the next steps?
Well, if this is resonating with somebody, then stop guessing about friendship. You don't have to feel lonely any longer. And come learn how friendship is actually built. Because I have taught this all over the country to organizations, to college students all over the country. I have taught this to so many people. And I'm always hearing, I wish I knew this sooner.
Do you think that people misinterpret or use other examples of friendships to build their own friendships and want it to fit into a tailored box? Is that half the problem?
I think sometimes people have an expectation for friendship, sure, but I think often what happens is that people feel so busy and they feel really lonely. But when you feel busy, friendship kind of becomes a secondary and ancillary thing. When connection is one of our basic human needs, it is so filling. Again, it helps us feel less stressed, it helps our overall health, it helps with so many things. It's life-giving. There's no other way to describe it.
Yes.
And so I want people to know that they can prioritize it without it adding a lot to their to-do list, without it feeling like too much. because I know people have enough on their plate. I'm not trying to add anything. I want to help you feel less stressed and have more fun with the plate that you have.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
To turn your loneliness into connection, to harness the skills you need to build more meaningful relationships, just go to connectionwithjewel.com.